But we move forward, and the first matchup that we've got for you two, of course, third matchup of the night, is Odium taking on Circular Spheres. Like, I know I've said this quite a few times in the OCE League, and I did a lot last year, but Mandy, I feel like we never go in knowing 100%. Outside of the Bliss game, we really don't know 100% what the result's going to be.
So I think I was the only person that predicted Circular Spheres for this matchup.
Yep.
And I'm pretty surprised by that as well, to be honest. I feel like there should have been a more even split between these two teams. Yes, I think Circular Spheres looks pretty rough against Bliss, but who wouldn't, right, at this stage? So I feel like, yeah, like you've been saying, it should be pretty even between these two.
You know what? If they don't take the mickey, then I feel like they could be a good team. But I know my boys, Jake Hanna and Goofed, and, well, it's in the name.
Yeah.
They're goofballs.
Do you know how many rounds they won yesterday, Rob?
I don't think...
If you add up all the rounds that they won in the first half, remember that?
Yeah.
And then take all the rounds that they played in the second half, and then take the ones that they won, and add those to the ones they won in the first half, it's none. They didn't win a single round. They were terrible against Bliss. They got absolutely destroyed. And I can't have confidence in them against Odium after yesterday because I thought Odium were bloody good.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I thought Odium were like one of the most slept-on teams coming into this stage. I was not interested in them. I thought, hey, they lost player in Cairo. I'm more interested in watching Man Esports now. And yet, these guys with Quixie and Dirty are looking as good, if not better, than ever. They had a really solid start yesterday. They won their opening game against 6 targets, that old X-Order roster, and they looked pretty damn solid in doing so. Coming off a win, they're going up against Circular Spheres, coming off a 7-0. Yeah, I back these guys in for sure.
Yeah, it's been really interesting watching the likes of Saved and... I just lost his name then. Bappin, sorry.
Oh, yeah, the big Bap dog.
Genuinely having some really good performances last time around. By the way, shout out Dirty. Fun fact about Dirty from Odium. I used to commentate him back in 2018.
Wow.
So
Really?
that gives some context for how long he's been bopping about. Maybe not in the same game. Who knows? But Circular Spheres, again, bunch of goofballs when they're having a bit of fun. We've seen what Jape is like in his interview. Goofed is sitting there patting his cat while we're literally interviewing him. So, there are some rare specimens here. But, Mandy, where do you put them?
I think they...
It could be brutal.
Yeah, no. I think they're in contention for the top, like, within the top 4 or 5, in my opinion. I think...
That's just the bottom 4 or 5, by the way.
Yes.
They're 18.
God damn.
So it's like, look, I'm looking at the glass half full, okay? They're in the middle of the pack, right? I think that's... them being dismantled by Bliss yesterday is not a super telling result, I think, of their capability as a team. I think they might have gone into that thinking, all right, it's a bit rough against Bliss, but we don't really need to win this one out. Whereas I think when you go up against Odium, it feels a little more hopeful if you're on the side of Circular Spheres, at least in my opinion.
Yep.
And I feel like today should be a much better telling of what they're able to do in the league.
Yeah, now I think one of the things that I just saw then is it Physics that's missing out or Pinku? One of the play I couldn't see.
I thought I saw Physics there.
Caro is coming in for the
really?
sub, so this might even weaken the conversation a little bit more, but I don't need to weaken it any more than their win percentages.
Oh,
Sorry, boys.
Yeah. When you said where do you put Circular Spheres at the moment, I put them at the bottom of the standings because that's where they are.
Oh my God.
I know it's just one game, but they're -7 round difference. They haven't won a single round as of yet. And they
You're a
got smashed by
statistical
Bliss.
genius.
Yeah, I know. It's funny when the numbers are that simple.
Even I can understand.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't remember what it said on the graphic, but I'm pretty sure looking at the player cameras that you are right. It is Physics who is out for tonight.
Yep.
I think they're going to have a rough go of it. I think it's going to be a challenge. Like, these guys are such a confidence-fueled team. So really it's just about putting behind what happened yesterday and saying, look, new team, we're not playing against top 8 6 Invitational Team Bliss. We're going up against Odium with 2 rookies. And what I said the other day is that arguably Odium's 2 best players left and joined the X-Mammoth roster, Man Esports, who we just saw win. But I don't know, like, it really remains to be seen. Bappin's been a solid player. Even the rookies, I think, have stepped up. So
yeah, Quixie's done well since the preseason tournament.
Yeah, and I don't think Quixie was on a great team last stage, so I think that it's nice to see him slot in with a bit more experience, guys like President leading the way. I want to back Odium in because I'm just excited for something new and different. I was the biggest Circular Spheres fan a year ago when they were the red hot new thing on the block, but I want to see Odium work because I doubted them and they proved me wrong.
We like new shiny toys here on the OCE League. Once upon a time, it was Bliss. Then it turned into...
Give it a few months and we'll want to chuck them away and get Buzz Lightyear or whatever.
I'm more excited for 6 targets just because there's something old that's been renewed.
That's the opposite.
They're like this set. They've been given a second life. We won't talk about them because they're not until the last game. But realistically, Mandy, it's probably hard to see a map changing this conversation.
I don't think so, yeah. I think that between these two rosters, it should be pretty evenly matched no matter what map we go to be honest. I would be surprised if we saw something like a skyscraper or something like that was like more defender-sided to be thrown into the mix. Then I think it's a bit more side-dependent at that point, maybe even ban-dependent for what the operators are.
Yep.
But I mean, they're immediately banned out. I don't really see the rest of the maps being that too different between them.
Come on,
that's nice. Go on, take out the Oregon.
Where's the border band? There we go.
I wanted to see border. Honestly, a border or a chalet could clap. Unfortunately, we're not going to see either of them, which means Oregon's still in the pool. We had to bank. Okay, Dev. Yeah. I know you keep some numbers.
I do like some numbers.
Just every now and then. What have you got cooked up for us in the cookbook?
So, Odium, since the new roster, I think... So I'm not sure in the campaign, they still play with their old roster, right?
Yes,
yeah.
correct.
So we actually haven't seen Odium with the new roster play... Oh, wait, no, this is... Oh, my God. Sorry. Bear with me. So in the qualifiers, they did lose this map to Order. I remember that they played a BO3 against Order. They lost one map. It was only a 7-8, and it was this map of Bank. They also 7-3'd Big Dogs, 7-4'd Altered Zelios. Some pretty solid victories on that map since the roster changes, so credit to him. As for CS, like you have to go pretty far back to see Bank. It was all the way back in the Stage 2 qualifiers where they played Nut E Gaming twice and won both times. So I think not only as recency, but in terms of the competition they were playing against, Odium I would definitely put as the upper hand on Bank. But for CS, unknown quantity, good roaming potential on this map, and CS are a great roaming team. So I wouldn't be surprised. I think this is going to be a fun brawl.
Yeah, I didn't know Nut Uri had a...
No, that's not funny. I'm not going to laugh at that.
Well, sometimes I get left out to dry, sometimes I don't. Mandy, I mean, do you have anything to add further to this point? I think that it's probably a good open map to see both of these teams on. Are you worried at all about structure for either team?
No, not really. I wouldn't say so on Bank, to be honest. I feel like Bank is like, I mean, there are a few things you need to get done on the map, but I think ultimately this should be a good opportunity, I think, for CS to bounce back. After a pretty tough loss yesterday, this should be the right opportunity for them to go and prove themselves against Odium. I don't think their plans need to be all that thought out that much on Bank between these two teams, to be honest. I feel like CS is like brute force, go for a linear play style. Honestly, I think it's going to work just fine between these two. Well, let's lock in. Let's get locked and loaded, because I can tell you right now, hooligans in the servers need hooligans to cast them. Enjoy.
Oh, it's the peanuts in the peanut gallery. Always some quip, isn't it, Rob? Just never a little bit of niceness towards us. Obviously a big game coming up though, Odium and Circular Spheres, two teams that I think are probably different ends of their journeys. CS has been going quite a while now. This fresh look for Odium, we'll see if that can maybe bode well for them as we head to Bank for hopefully what will be an exciting game. Bank usually does lend itself to being a fun watch.
Yeah, Bank can be a funny old map. You can sometimes fall into old tropes and old ways of approaching the map, but as touched on briefly by Dev, there's also the opportunity to roam and aggress, and a team like CS should thrive in that kind of environment. So yeah, keen to jump into this matchup. I think there's a lot on the line for both teams in establishing a bit of a name for themselves here in the stage. And with opportunities opening up in the mid-table, this is a game to kickstart that.
All right, so third match of the night, and it looks as if Karo is going to be making his way into this roster as well. Circular Spheres, of course, had a, well, shocking start yesterday. They did have to go up against Team Bliss, but got 7-0'd, and at no point really looked comfortable inside of the server, and obviously couldn't really make much happen. And as for Odium, well, a little bit better at least for them with their win over 6 targets, a roster that probably left a little bit to be desired, to be honest. Expected more from them. So it was a solid win for Odium yesterday. We'll see if they can back that up again here as well. Now against Circular Spheres, of course, looking for a bit of a redemption from yesterday's beatdown. Bank we go, Montaigne, Brava, both banned out.
Yeah, Brava can actually be quite impactful on Bank. You think about the number of default cameras that you're able to hack and get rid of quite early on in the piece, especially if you want to take map control, and then with the Maestro sometimes coming into play defensively on this map, not having to deal with that as a unit with Cloudstones banned out can be a positive. Again, Monty, we keep talking about how prevalent he is post-rework, and I suppose post-buff now in the new meta for shields. A Zombie off the board defensively, and Mirror to follow, so the Solace, Fenrir, and the Valkyrie, plenty of which play into the info game here on Bank, will remain available.
Well, suddenly feels like for Circular Spheres, kind of a big game here. A team that I think on paper many kind of looked at as being around the mark, top 4 in the conversation. Certainly not in any kind of conversation now regarding first with their beatdown yesterday at the hands of Team Bliss.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Once again, getting in the chat just to make sure, a reminder for these players to just keep it friendly. Some words of advice as well for Caro to not get nervous, makes his official debut. Did not play yesterday. And I believe it is it Pinker that's out? I can't tell with these names, to be honest, so makes it a little bit more difficult.
I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to call them what they're named in the server. Doesn't bother me.
Odium on the attack to begin. We'll see what they can bring to the forefront as we go to basement here for the opening round.
5 seconds left.
Yeah, let's jump in. Keen to see what the approach from Odium will be in terms of attack here, whether or not they're going to go for map control, perhaps be a little bit more direct. It's a traditional lineup against and around that Hibana pick. Very typical here on Bank. With the Docker being play as well, Roam Clear should be the name of the game. Although in response defensively, Circular Spheres going with a very structured bunker down style. You have the Goyo for area denial on that default plan alongside Smoke. And Fenrir as well, also in play for that additional trap utility. That said, there is a Roam being employed. The mute up above inside of Jan. It's been identified by Odium, and we'll see how they look to pick it apart. Hatch has likely opened up, so the defense will be looking to, as a wise man once said, employ the onion meta and peel back defensively.
Yeah, of course you'd say that.
There you go. That's onion right there.
Dirty with the opening kill. It's going to take out J-Put. Could start for Odium. Logic Bomb now utilized as well by Dirty off the back of that. Save can make a push over towards top square. Physics over towards top blue. And suddenly, the start that you would very much want when you're attacking into a basement setup. You know, that roam game is going to be up above, and you've been able to at least find that one kill. Bap it over as well towards Janitor. A lovely line of sight as well, controlling these hatches. Yellow ping information too. Over towards Archives, player spotted. Right over towards open area as well. 90 seconds left in the round. You can make that drop, go back to site, but electing not to right now. Very much forcing Odium to try and clear out these positions. One in towards elevator, but again, can make the drop.
And you can see the defense of Circular Spheres just being mindful of the lurk potential in through garage as well. Although efforts seemingly focused at the moment towards open area. Still with a minute to go though, an opportunity for Odium to lean into that man advantage and send a player in that position a little bit later on. In the meantime, Circular Spheres defensively chipping away at drone economy. 4 now left for Odium. So despite being a man down, they've been able to consolidate at least somewhat. And again, with the Goyo canisters already in play, Smoke as well still alive, there's potential for Circular Spheres to still stall out this round. Advanced position here as well from the mute. Though in the middle of a pinch, so needs to be mindful that Quixie doesn't take him down. Smoke's deployed. 35 seconds on the clock. Odium are going to find it tough, I think, to unlock some of these positions. Aggressive from the Smoke inside of server, though, if they can isolate.
Drop down hatch. Physics under pressure. Cannot win out against Dirty. That was the final gas pipe thrown as well. Line of sight also created. So not a bad little pinch here for Odium with the 5-1-3. Longest in CCTV as White makes his way over towards bot main stairs. One with a slow push, though, is Bappin, and he will get punished. He now turns his attention back over to site through Vault. It's an easy win for Quixie. And suddenly, an overwhelm on site goes the way of Odium, and that is certainly a way to start. They do take basement pretty comfortably in the end. Got the opening kill, but then didn't rush off of that. Kept themselves going in terms of checklist, clearing nicely. Not too worried about doing so swiftly. And eventually Circular Sphere's defense got completely undone, and they give up on basement straight away over to first floor. Staff an open area going into the second round.
Yeah, I think the key clear there for Odium was their ability to flush out server with the smoke in an off position behind the rack as opposed to playing in red or CC for denial. It was really important to deal with that cleanly, and they did without faltering, without losing a pick. 5v3, pretty easy overload of sight through that default position irrespective of the other utility that had to be cleared, or would have typically been cleared. So solid work from Odium. Again, attack typically more tested though if you lose that opening duel or if things get a little bit dicey, how you're able to then find win conditions that are perhaps a little bit harder to identify. So in the second round, we'll see if Circular Spheres can respond. Ram in play this time from the attack. Castle utility also in response, so explosives will come at a bit of a premium here for Odium, and Quixie will go on to the floor as for those Roteros in response.
Buck and Ram as well here as well from Odium, so doubling down on that sort of soft breach potential. Triple down in theory. You can also do so with the Roteros, although Quixie will be using those elsewhere. Far more utility that you'd be wanting to take out. Great start as well for Dirty. Got a little shout out from Rob in the pre-match discussion. Saved with a swift entry. Bot square and one lurking in towards Archives is swiftly dealt with. McCraw had no idea. Well, great start to the round for Odium. Second round in a row as well, mind you, in which they've been able to get off to a strong start. Opening kill in the opening round, and then also here in the second. Saved on the board 2-0. Suddenly, where's the response from Circular Spheres? Not just really in this round, but for this whole game, and that's not going to do it from Physics. Looking for that said response. Falls short. Suddenly, Odium are making very quick work of this round. Save goes for another through Janitor, and with that, an easy kill onto Japer. It's a quad. Yeah, go for the ace at this point. Kara the last alive. In the pre-match discussion in the in-game chat, it was said, Kara, don't be nervous. Well, he wasn't. Getting hunted down by Save. He stands tall, gets his one. With 90 seconds left, though, he needs more than just one. He needs 4 more. Caught. Beep aside, Bappin gets the kill. Odium. Terrific start here on Bank.
Yeah, Save being activated here in the second round. Good initial entry through Electrical. It's a position where you can often gain a little bit of ground and cut off some really key rotations through that bot square position, whether it's defenders coming up blue or through Archives, down the stairs as well, even through Kitchen. So there's multiple points around the map that the defense will typically be routing that you can cut off if you're able to catch them off guard. And that was the name of the game there in round 2.
Was it Electrical, though?
I believe it was.
Well, it was barricaded off still when he went back out after he got the kill.
So maybe he came up through.
Did he come up through blue eventually? I'm assuming that.
To be fair, there is a chance that I'm wrong, probably wrong, because I was looking at something else and then I looked up and he had a 2K bot square, so I was like, well,
yeah,
had to be Electrical.
He got those kills and then ran back out Electrical and had to break the barricade. So yeah, interesting, but still a round in which Odium looked strong, saved.
Again, though,
strong.
it was a case of everyone getting outside of the fight that we saw. Top square, double door, where there was that contest. Every other kill was just completely unresponsive from CS.
Yeah, and it's one thing as well, yesterday, the match against Team Bliss 7-0. They're not going to be really the last team that happens to this stage. Obviously, Antic put up a much better fight today, but I think you can very much forgive Circular Spheres for that particular performance. But if you get then beaten comfortably again today against a team like Odium, that is unforgivable. You need to be far more of a team that is looking to contest here today. 2-0 start. Odium have been able to clean sweep to begin here on Bank. Now a response required here in the third round from CS.
I think they're just going to live drone saved here.
If not,
Fenrir Mime will project his position temporarily, but no one's holding Garage directly, so Save can post up behind the ambulance.
where's the point of that? No one's playing off it.
What do you mean? Of the mine?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. I thought you meant the drone. I was like, well, then. What do you mean? No, I get what you're saying. But Saved is playing this actually quite cautiously, rightly so. Probably the best course of action. Circular Spheres may elect to ignore this, and at the moment, that's what they're doing. Again, investing manpower, util, focus on this roam. Multiple orange outlines on the first floor, but it's Bappin to unlock that.
Oh, talk about... Oh,
no.
Are you serious? What? The computer screen has kept President hidden. Positioning God, apparently. Whether he has done that on purpose or not, he clearly probably has it. Has kept White at bay. Stuck in towards Talers. He would have been absolutely good for a free kill there on to President. Minute 15 remaining. Top square control. Now for Dirty. And I think they're starting to clue on. There is a lurker in Archives, courtesy of that logic bomb that Dirty just threw out.
And this position from Saved, absolutely critical. As these defenders look to peel back, he can sit and wait for the cross. He almost catches one into red, will now swing, but doesn't find that defender. The scope as well, the housing blocking his view in towards the objective. He had a free kill.
We've seen it both ways now.
Unless that player's rotated through gold, which also may have been the case. It's a very tricky read to know exactly where that defender path, but either way, some unfortunate timing means that Saved kills goes astray. It was gold, or more so towards Vault, but there is one that goes the way of Saved. And with 30 seconds on the clock, Circular Spheres need to scramble to win this round defensively.
Spotted him as well over the ball. Oh, what a headshot from Saved! 6-1, and again, Circular Spheres are just falling apart. White was there to get Bappin over towards, I think that was maybe Beepers. Regardless, traded though by President, and suddenly Physics, just like the last round for Garo in a 1 versus 4. Not a lot of time. There's one, there's two. And that's Kit down as well. Shotgun now in hand. Red time, deep flash, and Quixie though, with a quick scope and gets the kill, and 3-0 start for Odium.
Yeah, good attack there from Odium. They identify that Garage is a weakness, so Save just posts up there. He sits there for the entire round and puts the trust in his team to flush these defenders back. He catches the first of the Goyo. Perhaps a little bit unlucky not to find Japer before that, but is able to tidy that up by just holding down the line. That's a pretty simple kill for him. And then even here, 4 versus 1, and they just have the discipline with 10 seconds on the clock to throw out a flash. Repositions Physics into a more favorable position there for the attack. Confirms the round, confirms the 3-round rotation as well for Odium. So for Circular Spheres, at the moment, this has been a really devastating start for them because they continue to try, I would say, in my opinion, relatively modern meta things with these peelbacks and the extensions, and looking to play into the meta as they should, but
On the
the
flip
execution is just falling flat.
You're doing that, but Saved is just walking in.
Exactly.
He's just walking
it's
in the building.
execution that's not there at the moment.
6-1, 4 saved on Odium, 3-0 start. So far, haven't really made any mistakes, winning all of the gun battles as well. I mean, this has just been clinical here on Bank to begin. The opening 3 rounds on the attack for Odium, they've looked very lively. Circular Spheres now find themselves staring down the barrel of, unfortunately, 0-10 start for Oceania League 2024 Stage 1. They have not won a single round through 10 rounds of Siege. And that will continue until, obviously, they, well, do so. Opportunity presents itself once again. Over to CEO we go for this 4th round. No sight has been kind on the defense for Circular Spheres so far. Odium's sheer aggression has very much been a boon for them. Led by Saved, but helped out by others. Good logic bomb usage in the last round as well. That was by Dirty at the time.
He's going to lurk into another position.
Top
Again.
square. Oh, no one was watching it at the time. Shoots out the felt camera.
And what this does as a defensive unit, you are always now questioning where you're walking if you're in this general vicinity because you don't want to be the one that gives away the first pick. So it starts to play on the minds of this defensive unit of CS and may limit their playmaking potential if they don't know exactly where he is. With the shielding play stock hallway, they do now. But still, these long lines of sight, which Saved is monitoring. As a defender, you have to be so careful. If you're not going to aggress and look to isolate him, you're then on the back foot by playing more defensively than you otherwise would want to.
Kanto wall opened up as well, further now putting some pressure onto those in the hallway, especially with that shield in place. Save does find the opening kill. I cannot believe it. At this point, you may as well just stick on him. I think that was the swing from the janitor side in towards site. Maybe not. Actually, was that the player that was sitting top blue stairs? Potentially. No. Okay, White was top blue. He's now shifted in towards E-Box. does kind of need to help out here.
There is flank potential, but we need to see this Solus eventually make a move and not let Save do more damage.
Now, he should be unknown in this position.
The call.
Oh, now he will know.
The call.
The logic bomb gives away his position inside of E-Box. He's stuck dead to rights. And Saved has made his way down from top to bot square. 5 versus 1 with Physics. The solo spotted. Headshot dealt with. It's a slaughter on Bank. 4-0 start from Odium. A circular spheres just look quite silly. And a tactical timeout is certainly required.
I mean, this could be a contest for being more dominant, in my opinion, than the Bliss game. Because at least Bliss were defense, and you can make the argument that attacking into a top 8 team at SI is tough. But at the moment, they're just getting shredded defensively, CS. And credit to Odium, because they're putting these playmakers, like Saved, in positions to dominate. But the response from CS has lacked confidence and has lacked conviction. Where you need to be a confident defensive unit, you need to be sending players in to trade out the likes of Saved from holding key parts of the map. They're not doing that. They're sitting back. They're getting swung. They're losing picks. Those in flank positions like the Solus, baiting the rest of the team and not having impact as well. It's not the CS that I expect at this stage.
I mean, I think coming into this game, I felt like this was going to be bordering on 50-50. Look at on paper what we typically expect from the Circular Spheres roster. We give them the respect where it's due because of this team and what they've been able to do in the past. And then you even... you very much let bygones be bygones when you think of yesterday. It's whatever. It's Team Bliss. They're going to do that to a lot of teams. This is really their actual now, real debut for the stage. And this is a poor showing. Bank, don't get me wrong, is a map where attacking can be facilitated in this current meta. But even sites like Lockers and CCTV, they are just getting shredded. Where's the response? I mean, and even like a player like Kara, he's the one you can very much forgive here. 1-4, but it's his debut. He's not the one to be the player that needs to stand up. Where's the older heads, the veterans on this roster? And where's a little bit of offense? But also defensively, they just look so relaxed in the sense they're allowing these positions like top square to be lurked into pretty much for free. So much that needs to be worked on here from Circular Spheres. So little time, now only 2 rounds to go in this half on the defense. For their sake, I hope they can turn it around.
Well, they don't bring the Solus this time, and every single drone is still standing in the conclusion of the prep phase as we enter the action phase. I anticipate that there are pre-placed drones around the map, and Odium once again are going to get relatively free control. Saved even has free read in towards server. Sees that, you know, the Kaid behind Rack. He's going to contest.
There's no way. Oh my
Wow.
goodness, does Kara not spot that drone? There's the swing as well. What is the jiggle peeking? What are you doing, Physics? Finally, a trade comes through while swung from McGraw and Saved is eventually shut down. An 11-1 start, now 11-2. And White over towards Open, gets the battle one against Bappin. Maybe round salvaged a little bit. 3 versus 3.
It's going to depend on how much control elsewhere the attack's been able to garner. Dirty with some info inside of Staff. That's a free kill. Good work. Habana up. So those hatches will get opened up. And it's up to Japer alongside the Goyo to hold on 1 kill between the two as we enter the midpoint of round 5.
And this is where Odium have got more than enough time. They can slow this down. Don't have to continue to rush. So much damage already done onto the defense. You know that positions like server are going to be very vulnerable for the push eventually in towards CCTV. So go back, do the checklist, open up the hatches. You know they're pretty much going to be on site. I think maybe I see a main stairs hold. Potentially for Circular Spheres. Anticipating that with the numbers advantage, Odium may look to just spread out a bit as Japer indeed is holding. Main has gone top main and now will look to push towards top square.
And with the hatch open, this is a potential weakness for him to exploit.
Still a bit of time. Odium not rushing this. Flashes and now eventually looking for that server push. A sense though that maybe indeed Japer could be going for a flank and Dirty reads it
Wow.
like a PDF file. does not even miss the fine print as Quixie then makes quick work of McGraw on sight. It is an absolute bank robbery.
I'll talk about robbery. I mean, you stole that PDF call from Mandy. What the hell was that?
Exactly. Just ties into the
It's pretty unprofessional.
just ties into the bank robbery, doesn't it?
Ah.
Double entendre.
Ah.
Well, it started again with saved. I think every
Well,
round
he got a double. Talk about double entendres.
he did.
Yeah.
And hey, if the first jiggle peak doesn't work, maybe the third, fourth, and fifth one might indeed work. Saved had the angle held the entire time. He's still shooting, and you're still peeking, and you're dead. But he has been the standout 11-2 from Saved, and every single round he has been able to find a lurk entry without fail. And has been a massive reason why Odium are up 5-0. Sorry, Mandy, by the way. Apologies.
She's smiling. It's okay. So Solace in play then, round 6. Final defensive round here for Circular Spheres to find something towards the scoreboard. At least a couple of drones taken down this time around. Valkyrie as well in play for information of their own.
10 seconds to go.
And with those two in play, there's fewer excuses, especially with Malusi as well in play, for allowing these attackers to lurk into unfavorable positions.
Yeah, I mean, it's also now where, for Circular Spheres, you've got one final round on the defense. It's obviously mentally draining at this point when you think about, okay, well, even if we do manage to finally stop this lurk entry and get a bit more of a foothold in the round, this is it. We can't then take that and try and build momentum off of it. You kind of can, at least, going into the second half. You're going to the attack your own. But Odium have been, well, near on flawless. Little to no mistakes here in the opening 5 rounds. Certainly alarm bells ringing for Circular Spheres as once again,
again.
dirt, flash over towards the rack, clears out the left-hand side. White is just then caught out in the open, essentially not even on an island. He's just stuck in the middle of the ocean.
It's just poor positioning. You shouldn't be in a position that you cannot escape, even if you are Solace, because the moment that you get droned, and based on the way Odium has been playing, they will immediately follow up on it. If you're going to play that position, somebody needs to be supporting on the roam, and there is nobody within earshot of the Solace. So that is a free kill for Odium, for a player who is not missing shots at the moment.
Yeah, and to be fair, at least for Circular Spheres, in some kind of form of devil's advocate, I actually think, going back to what you said earlier, like, it's not as if they are not really playing the right way. The execution has been very much off. And I think Odium is just playing far, far better than anything. This is certainly a case of you've got to give credit where credit is due for Odium, the way they're hitting the shot. Saved is on a
He missed one.
Well, half. He did get Japer down to below half. Flash into Archives. And at this point, he's just probably feeling as if he can just do no wrong and can do just about anything. Karo does win his battle. Save now checking on the right-hand side off the back of this Logic Bomb. Physics is then dead. Again, they've played off of the Dockerby so incredibly well this game.
Yep, 100%. There's actually a second around the corner, but Saved does not have a read on that. Still a flashbang in pocket. 13 kills so far. There's one close by, and he hits the shot. Are you serious? It's 3 for Saved. And another potential ace here.
Bro's on 14-2 from, well, 6 rounds and shot the back from McGraw. Final Logic Bomb expended by Dirty. Now they're going to have to finish the round without save. Flashes to come. Karo to watch for the drop. Does actually get the kill. Nicely placed. Another red ping. President, though, allowed to continue forward, and eventually from Beepers, Dirty gets the final kill. It's 6-0 to Odium. 13 rounds in a row that Circular Spheres have not been able to find victory. Whew. Match point, Odium. And as quick as this started, it feels like it's about to end.
I feel like we just finished the band phase. Wow. Yeah, really good work from Saved. Again, being facilitated by the early drones for map entry, then also the Dockerby throughout the mid-round. And then just incredible game sense as well to have a read on some of these kind of positions and the mechanics to pull off these kills. Gets flanked eventually, and there was a window of opportunity here. If Karo hits both on the drop, they win the round. But unfortunately, he doesn't, and then a really, really good swing in from the elevator hallway means that the round goes the way of Odium. And I posed the question before as it started to mount, is this a more dominant loss for CS than the Bliss 7-0? I think
Go on.
uncategorically.
Ooh,
Is that even a word? Or
probably.
categorically. Just remove the un. It is. You're defending on bank against a mid-tier, or what we're classifying at the moment at least, as a mid-tier team.
Well, I think also, I can't for the life of me remember, someone actually played Devil's Advocate for Circular Spheres yesterday. Don't know if it was one of our talent crew or not, but it was essentially saying some of the rounds were kind of close, kind of somewhat. Like CS had some moments where they were able to, at least the rounds themselves weren't always total blowouts, while Bank has been far more one-sided. A couple of flawless rounds, what Saved has been able to do. This is far more embarrassing, and it's not particularly close for Circular Spheres than yesterday's loss. Especially if it ends like this. I mean, if you can at least bring 3-4 rounds back and you end up losing 7-3, 7-4, it's a different story. Such a long way back, though.
Good for Odium, though, right? Like,
oh, yeah, Odium have been great. Saved is, well, I mean, Saved is basically the MVP for the day. That's locked in. I don't think he can do any more. 14 from 6 rounds. We'll see what happens,
very hard
though.
to beat. Very, very hard to beat.
Game's not over. McGraw with the entry through stock on the Jackal to help facilitate the entry. Ping goes out down below. And now eventually looking to push main stairs.
So the Jackal's good at gaining information, but the defense then is able to react accordingly. They know they get tracked. Whereas the Dokkaebi being a little bit more global can sometimes make it more challenging to know if you're the player that's being directly hunted down by the attack. So we'll see how Odium as a defensive unit look to respond. Dokkaebi does come through. Shoulder peek from Japer, yet to find a pick so far. The Nitro comes out. Almost taken off the board, but he will survive. Bappin to hold towers currently. Yellow ping to come through. Saved inside of Archives. He has been called the Logic Bomb, and it does go the way of Circular Spheres. Response from Dirty, but Japer as well to find his first. So they do have the advantage CS, and they have the time available.
Oh,
Dirty though.
He's fragging. 7-on-1.
Yeah.
Still over a minute. President elsewhere gets the kill onto Japer, and that advantage has, well, diminished. Advantage Odium. With the final minute remaining on the clock, they can play side if they so wish, but Dirty still over towards Staff.
Yellow
Has
ping.
yellow ping information. Dead to rights is physics. Yeah, Dan. There's no way he's going to not live. Oh, he makes a goal! That's one. That's okay. It's great from physics. I thought he was just dead to rights, but no, apparently not. But still needs to do so much more. Quixie and President as the two remaining. 30 seconds. Goomine stepped on. Does have the kit. But such an incredibly difficult task now awaits him. Great flash. Doesn't play off it immediately, though. One more available. Never made the drop, of which now President, of course, is watching. There is said drop. Goomine stepped on. Needed to hit an initial swing. He couldn't find it quickly to put an end to this one. Oh, so quickly from Odium. 7-0. Dismal start for the Moggers. They have been 7-0 2 days in a row. Maybe time to change those names, because you're not mogging anyone.
Definitely not stealing any points. Struggling to steal rounds as well. Really good work though from Odium. I think that's, for me, the big positive takeaway, at least from this particular matchup. The fact that they have now well and truly entered the discussion, for me at least, as being a top 3 contender here in the league. Kicking things off really, really nicely. So again, we'll have to obviously see them against the likes of Antic and Bliss. But they didn't put a foot wrong today. They played the perfect attacking style here on Bank in terms of work and keep players into, dangerous positions. And whenever they had that advantage, they were able to convert.
Yeah, an absolute amazing performance from all involved for Odium. Saved was significantly the MVP as an individual. Dirty was incredible, both in terms of his fragging power, great logic bomb usage, and the rest, of course, all had their part to play for this 7-0 win from Odium. That's right, no mistake. This one's done. It is over. Fortunately, we've still got one more game to go. Short break. When we come back later on, we'll dissect everything on the desk and then get into that final game later.